Welcome to my podcast. Today's episode is truly special for me. I'm honored to introduce Gene Trowbridge, ESQ, CCIM, a nationally respected real estate attorney and educator, a true leader with the 50 years of experience in real estate, syndication, and the security law. Gene, thank you so much for being here for us today.
I appreciate it, Stella. It's going to be great. I imagine you have a number of CCIMs who listen to your podcast. Like you're a CCIM and I'm a CCIM for a long time. That's pretty
Right.
exciting. Good, good.
I'm glad to have you here today. And let's start from the beginning. Jean, tell me for over 50 years in real estate, law, and investment structure, can you tell us a little bit about your career journey?
I sure can. I sure can. I came out of college as a accounting and marketing major, but the only thing I wanted to do was to sell real estate. So
Mhm.
I went off to sell real estate, and like many of us, I started selling houses, and I wasn't very good at it. So about 3 years into selling houses, someone introduced me to a CI 101. It's
Okay.
the first course in the CCIM program. And I took the course. I loved it. I said, this is where really what I want to do, and where do I find that I can do that? So I
Mhm.
changed firms and went to a firm with a whole bunch of commercial brokers in it. And I followed through with my CCIM designation and got it. And then after a couple of years of being a broker and buying some of my own properties, I ran into a property that I couldn't buy by myself. So I contacted four people that I'd gone to college with, and we
Mhm.
put together a group and we bought a property. And that was my first syndication in 1978. And so for the next 20 years, I was a syndicator. And for the most part, I built self storage in Southern California. We built 32 self storage facilities. We were builders. We got them built. We got the about 20% occupancy, and then our purpose was to sell them to other people. I never wanted to be an operator of self storage facilities.
Uh-huh.
So we did that, and during that time, I raised my money through the broker dealer community. I had stockbrokers who were raising my money for me, and it was pretty good. Somewhere along the line, I decided I wanted to do something else. So in my 40s, I decided to go to law school.
Wow.
And in 1994, when I was 46, I was sworn into the California bar after passing the California bar exam. And then I've been doing securities law ever since. So the only type of law I was going to do was securities law because that's all I knew. I knew it from the practical side of being a syndicator, being a real estate investor, and I knew somewhat of what the attorneys did for me when I hired them.
Mhm.
So that's what I wanted to do for other people. I want to combine my practical knowledge and my legal knowledge and make a career out of it. And here I am today talking to you with, let's see, I've been an attorney now for 41 years.
Wow. Amazing. What a amazing journey. I see you done it all on your own experience. Amazing. So, Jean, one thing that investors care a lot about it today, it's a security. What would you let them know? What does it really mean for you to explain them what's the right way to have that security?
Sure. The simplest definition of a security is when investors invest their money or something of value into a common enterprise. We're going to we're going to put six people together to buy a building. That's
Mhm.
a common enterprise. So the people put their money in a common enterprise and they expect a profit. This is not GoFundMe. Hey, I need a nice vacation. Send me some money. I'm going to go. It's profit driven. And the money is managed by a manager.
Mhm.
One person manages the money. And you can imagine that if a lot of people are doing this, a lot of people are raising money, putting it into deals, and they're letting someone else manage their money, that somewhere along the line, the federal government said maybe we need to protect those people who are investing their money. Maybe we need to see what are they investing it in, what are they investing it into, and who are they investing it with.
Correct.
So in the 1930s, two securities laws were passed. We're still working with those laws today. The Security Act of 33 basically says you're going to tell everyone what you're doing. It's all about full disclosure. So that's where, and you've heard the term private placement memorandum, PPM, and operating agreement. That's where that comes from. We need to write all that stuff down. I call it the story. Write the story in the PPM, and give it to the investors. And if they want to go farther, then they read the operating agreement, which is the contract between the sponsor and the investors. They read that, they sign that, they send their money in. And then the other rule, which really doesn't apply in my business today, is that if you're going to sell securities for someone else, like a stockbroker, they need to know who you are to know that you're honorable. In what we do, it's like for sale by owner, Stella. If I'm doing my own securities offering, I'm called an issuer. I issue my own securities, and I don't need a license to issue my own securities. It's just people, if you go to Payne Weber or wherever and you become a securities broker selling other people's securities, that's where you need a license. So it's pretty easy for us. We just need to do the paperwork, get it registered, and send it out. But the key is for the people who are listening, who are saying, gee, if I just find 3 or 4 friends and family and we go out buy an apartment building,
Right.
that certainly isn't a security. Oh, yes, it is. As long as someone is in charge of the other people's money.
Yeah, I see it a lot, especially family members, they combine income together and try to invest. But you're right, it's all about the paperwork, it's all about the right contracts, and it's very important. That's a great point. And Jen, as you see, market changes quickly, capitals are more careful, deals are being analyzed differently. What do you feel about when it comes bringing investors together?
Today kind of the issue is a lot of investors think there's bad vibes about the real estate market. It's been slow for the last couple of years, and they're questioning is this a good time to buy or should we just
Right,
be a seller? And I guess there are two different sides to that story. I've been around a while, and I know that there have been 5 or 6 times in my career that the rumor was, oh, there's going to be blood on the street. Everyone's going to lose all their property. It's going to be terrible.
yeah.
And it's never really turned out that severe. And right now, people are saying the same thing, especially the apartment industry has taken quite a hit with the valuation of properties going down, interest rates still being high, and a lot of people had 5-year loans that they needed to recapitalize when there wasn't any money to recapitalize them. That's been a challenge, but our business
A challenge, right?
apartments is picking up. And we do a lot of things that aren't real estate. I was just talking to someone this morning. Last year, we did a whole stable of racehorses down in Corona del Mar. We did a fiber optics company who was bringing fiber optics into apartment buildings. We did a distillery up in Lake Tahoe who was doing something, and then a professional hockey team. We raised some money to help someone buy
Right.
a semi-pro hockey team. So there are a lot of reasons that you raise money from other people. In fact, Stella, that's how you become a syndicator. You see an investment that you want to make, and
Right.
you either don't have all the money you want to do it yourself, so you reach out, or you do, but you don't want to put all of your own money in there. So in either
Absolutely.
way, you reach out for other investors.
So it's very important to know the definition of the syndicator. We hear that a lot in real estate, but the way you explain, I feel that the investors have more understanding. What is it?
A syndicator simply is when you put 2 or more people together to do a business adventure. The next step in that definition is when you put these people together to do it, do you fall into the securities world? And
Right.
that's pretty important. Then you have a whole new set of rules.
So it's what do you see? How important is this to have the right team today versus the right deal? So it's
Always is the deal. I think it's the deal is the most important thing. But the securities industry is really a people business. When you think about what you do as a broker, you go out, the buyer comes to you and I want to buy something, and you research properties and you find something and they put it in escrow and the escrow closes and you say goodbye to the buyer. Fine. In the syndication business, you find the property, you find 20, 30 investors, you close, but you have those 20 or 30 investors with you until the
right.
property sells. So now you're in the people business. And there's people who, the story is the least educated and the smallest investor you have will give you the most trouble. The most educated and bigger pockets, the more educated and bigger pockets people you have, the easier your life is going to be. So it's still a people business.
It's a people business, absolutely. No matter which way you see it, it's a people business.
At one
If
time,
you will
Stella,
understand what we're looking for, that's the key.
at one time I sent out 1,867 K1s at the end of 1 year.
Wow.
Sending over 800 investors in all my deals, and it was a big project. You would do it differently today, but back then it was overwhelming. And one of the reasons I left the business, because I think one thing I learned as a syndicator is the care and maintenance of investors can become overwhelming. It's more risk than you thought.
So, Jean, do you still believe that real estate still remains one of the strongest wealth building tools?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You put your money in, and for the most part, your principal's safe. It stays there. Your income might go up and down depending
Right.
upon the cycle and your vacancy. But no, and we know from our reading and our studying what percentage of wealth in this country has been created through real estate. So, yes, we all need to own real estate. I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrency and blockchain and all that because I can't see it. I can't
Right,
do
right.
anything with it. So I
It's a different generation, it's a different investments. But I think you know what, you are seeing it all. You've seen so many market changes. And based on everything that you experience, maybe you can give us some advice. What's coming next? What do we see coming next in the market?
I think we're going to see in the next year and a half, and I have my own opinion, and then I gather opinions from all other people that we listen to. And a
Mhm.
conglomerate of opinions are in the next year and a half, the market is going to be better.
Okay,
Interest rates are at least going to stay the same or go lower.
okay,
The people that have trouble with their properties today, if the market is better and interest rates go lower, they can probably solve some of those problems. And if they can't, they'll have to put their property on the market. And properties that then go on the market probably are at a reduced price from what the people paid for them in the past. And that might just spur the market on.
it's a good news too that everything is coming back after all these roller coasters.
It always does. It always does. I don't know if you were involved in 2008, but
Oh, yes.
2008, the market really tanked, but it came back. And then back to 1986 and 87 when the passive loss rules were
Right.
started. That really destroyed the market, but it came back. Real estate is a good investment because it
Right.
always,
It's a great investment. You're right. In 2008, actually, I started real estate 2006. And then just when I was doing so well, 2008 hit and the market went down. I'm like, oh my God, what I'm going to do? But you know what? Luckily enough, I shifted to the market and I start doing the foreclosures, meaning that I try to adjust. And
sure.
this is the way how I survived for 20 years. And you're
Mhm.
right, you just have to shift with the market.
Right.
Well, Jean, I know you've been there, you've seen it, all the markets and all that. And if you would leave, let's say, for investors, for operators, and maybe even young professionals, one piece of advice after everything that you built for all these decades, what would it be?
But it's a two-part piece of advice. If
Okay.
you're going to invest in a syndication, the
Mhm.
two parts are who's the operator? who is the person that's going to handle the money? Do they have a track record? Are they investing with you? Who's the operator? That's very important. It might be more important than the property because a bad operator can destroy a good property. And then the second thing is you should do your own due diligence
That's
and
important.
learn what is due diligence. What do I need to look at in a property by myself to determine if it's a good property? And certainly, I wouldn't invest in someone else's deal if I didn't think that, gee, if I had all the money, I'd buy that property myself. But I don't have all the money. So here's a chance to get in there. Now, if that's a good operator and it looks like a good property, I think we go ahead. And things happen. Well, you need to be control. And when we wrote documents in 2017 and 2018, we didn't know about COVID. We're supposed to explain all the risks, but some risks you don't know are coming.
Absolutely.
And like you said, in 2008, you didn't know that the commercial mortgage-backed securities business would go away in one day in August, and all of a sudden there was no financing. So there's always more risk than you think. And
It's life. I feel so honored to have that wisdom. And I just want to thank you for your time that you're giving us, for this wisdom that you shared. Conversations like this, actually, I love when you're doing the podcast and you hear real insights, you hear real experience and real value. I am blessed to have you on my podcast. Thank you so much for joining. And my advice to everyone, stay educated and surround yourself with the right people.
Thank you very much. We have a good YouTube channel, YouTube Trowbridge Law, and it's a lot of educational based stuff. I give my website is www.t as in Tom, N as in Nancy, LLP.com. And we have a number of things that are good at the website, and that's how anyone who wants to schedule a conversation with me, go to the website and schedule it there, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone. It doesn't cost a penny. I'd be happy to
Amazing.
share my advice.
Amazing. Such an opportunity for everyone. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And we'll see you all on the next podcast.
I'll see you at the next CCIM conference in Philadelphia.
Looking forward. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Stella Top Seller podcast. If building real wealth through real estate is your goal, this is your show. Subscribe and follow me on social media. I'm Stella Shalamova. Keep thinking bigger, investing smarter, and living the top seller mindset. Until next time.